I am Christi Crowley. Today is May 13th, 2021. I'm calling in from Portland, Oregon, and I am the Camp Erin coordinator for Providence Hospice. And
I am Carrie Kilpatrick-White. I am the clinical coordinator for Camp Erin in Portland.
And I am Therese Lewandowski. I'm calling from Molalla, Oregon, and I am going to be asking questions to two of the staff members from Camp Erin, where I volunteer. Describe a little bit what you see on the first day when the campers show up versus when they leave Sunday afternoon.
Every year we have campers who don't want to be there on Friday afternoon for whatever reason, or they're really nervous. And some of them are kind of immediately captivated by the carnival, which we have going, or carnival, if I'll say it in Therese and Christi lingo. A couple of years ago, we had this one camper who was so mad that he was there and did not want his grown-up to leave. I think it was a big buddy who made this initial connection, and they started throwing a ball back and forth. And on Sunday, he didn't want to leave. That happens over and over. And we get on our survey result, what could be different about camp? It could be 5 days, or it could be a week. And that so often comes from kids who are resistant to being there on Friday.
the thing that always gets me about camp, and it's been challenging this past year because we haven't interacted with the kids in person as much. These stories seem so heavy when you hear them. And sometimes reading them, like the applications as an adult, I just feel like, oh my gosh, how is this kid surviving? Then when you meet them, they're kids. Seeing them at camp, we're reminded that, yes, this is a part of their life, this grief, this loss, but there's so much more, and there's joy and there's laughter.
One of the things that we say in the orientation that the kids attend before camp is that, this isn't sad camp. Kids can be so vulnerable with each other and sharing their stories, and then 5 minutes later, like squealing with laughter. But that's camp.
I think a lot of times these kids feel really alone. People aren't comfortable talking to them about it. They might have lost friendships. When we get to camp and we do the big game we do at the beginning of camp after carnival, we have kids move to different areas based on questions that we ask. So they move to one corner if chocolate's their favorite versus vanilla. You can actually see it happening that, we say, if you've lost a mom, go to this corner. And we see kids looking around at all these kids that are moving with them. To just watch that understanding kind of dawn. We talk about other kids being there who've had experienced loss, but to watch the kids sort of see it happening, I'm not alone in this.
What's your ratio with volunteers to campers?
Almost 1-to-1. We are lucky enough to be able to gift handmade quilts to each camper every year. And that's because of these amazing individual quilters and quilting groups.
How have you seen the dogs be effective with these campers?
They're therapy dogs. And I was in a sharing circle, and there was a camper that was just having a moment. This dog just knew it and went and sat and put its head on her lap. Goosebumps.
Did you want to just tell us a little bit about the Saturday night ritual?
So Saturday night at camp, we have a luminary ceremony. For some campers, they might not have had an opportunity to kind of formally remember or honor the person or people who have died. So maybe their family didn't have any sort of celebration, or maybe they were too far away. What we do is we have each camper decorate a luminary bag, and they are welcome to also write a letter to the person or the people who have died that they can put inside. And then we gather together as a camp or on the pond, and one by one, campers are able to put their luminary on this raft. And so at the end, in the dark, you have this raft that's lit up with light from each of their people. It can be one of the more powerful moments, I think, for some campers, and I think for a lot of volunteers, it ends up being that way. Time to gather together and bear witness to each other.
We've had years where there was a lot of real intense sobbing and crying, seeing all these bags, almost 100 luminaries. That's a reminder we've lost. All these people are no longer with us. It touches your heart to be witness to that.